What up, what up, what up? Happy Saturday, people. Here on a Saturday night. What? Love Warrior is here. She changed her name back from Season Sagittarius. And she's going to be joining me on this live. I'm also going to just invite people up later on in the live, in case somebody wants to come up here and speak their piece, But I'm happy to be here on this Saturday, June 14th. Kind of a break, but then here we are talking about Diddy again. But before we get into Diddy, we're going to talk about R. Kelly because he has made some crazy, outlandish claims. And I did a short video about it when I first saw it hit the news a couple days ago or whatever. But I pulled the document, and we gonna read this document. Okay, I'm gonna read this document. It is crazy, and it is tea. So, with no further ado, what I do? I promote my son on the right on the screen, and that is JTA. Who this is his song. I Need Everything. He's the first one on the track. Young little Asian guy who sounds hard as hell. And then my son comes in on second verse. I love it. So we're going to start off with just letting the algorithm do what it do, if it do anything. And who gives a fuck? I mean, everybody comes into the replay. So shout out to my replay warriors. And if you are in the replay, go ahead and skip ahead. Well, listen to the music first, but you can skip ahead for the commentary about 7 minutes or so. And then we're going to get into some things, child. Okay, so just give me a minute. We'll be right back. And like I said, I will be, I'm going to drop the link for you, Love Warrior, and then definitely going to drop the link later on so we can, if anybody else wants to come up, Jew T, Wild Wayne, what you think?
I got 20/20 vision and a pot to pissing. Coming for your dinner with my juice, with my chicken. I need everything. I've been hungry from the start. I need everything. Run the juice, run the car. I need everything. I need everything. But let's see, I got YSL getting offended things. I need everything. I need everything. Not a little, not a lot. I mean everything. I need diamonds on my wristwatch. Two-tone AP with the big rocks. $500,000 on my neck, 6-figure on the dot. Hey, time to cut the check. I need Fendi, I need Gucci, yeah, that ball ring. I need 20, 50s, 100s, yeah, that ball gang. Going stupid in the lamb with the top down. I've been running for a decade, I won't stop now. No price sticker, rockin' ball main, ice dripper. Licking on me, shorty, know that I'm a nice tipper. You be creeping on the gram, bitch, I get her. Yes, you fucking with a boss, I'm a fly. Feeling like I'm big, you better give me the loot. Feeling like I'm Bishop, better give me the juice. Came in riding in the Metro by the leaving the coupe. You can miss me with the bull, boy, don't get it confused. I got 20/20 vision and a pot to pissing. Coming for your dinner with my juice, with my chicken. I need everything. I've been hungry from the start. I need everything. Run the juice, run the car. I need everything. I need everything. But let's see, I got YSL getting offended things. I need everything. I need everything. Not a little, not a lot. Everything.
Point the pistol at him, take the money out the register. New bitch look like Sierra, it's apparent I done leveled up. No Yavis is Ferrari, push you started when I rev it up. My slimey's right behind me and beside me, fucking fair one, You gon' get it, ho, if you don't give me everything. Married to the game, flipped a rock and bought a wedding ring. Shit that I be rocking out of stock, on top I better be. If I ever flop, I'm blocking pockets out your pair of jeans. Look, don't stare at me, spend everything on Beverly. Rarely there's a nigga out there spitting who ain't scared of me. Invited me, I missed it, hit DK, she do the scheduling. My ex is so regretted, bitch, I'm on the big and better things. I need everything, hey, ring and a chain. Hey, drinking every leaf, I roll up full of Mary Jane. Harry, girl, I hit to be a 10 with friends and everything. Hit up JTA like, what's the play? And he said, hey,
I got 20/20 vision and a pot to pissing. Coming for your dinner with my juice, with my chicken. I need everything. I've been hungry from the start. I need everything. Run the I need everything. I need everything. But let's see Jagger YSL get offended things. I need everything. I need everything. Not a little, not a lot. I mean everything. Cost to be a boss, I ain't never scared. We was stomping on the streets, you was never there. Walking with a limp from the big pistols. See the fear in your eyes, see the bitch in you.
Yeah, baby. We are
Hey.
Oh, yeah. Why are you on mute? Unmute. I'm screaming and going crazy.
Yeah. Hey, what is going on? Hey,
There you
God
go.
is my love.
Hey,
There we
boo.
go. Hey,
So-
sweetheart. Happy Saturday night.
Happy Saturday. I'm gonna run that back just some of it because I need a second, but
Yes, take your time.
Thank you for being here, and I'm so excited.
Me too.
About to get
I'm gonna mute myself while you get everything situated and stuff, okay?
Okay. You
All right.
back.
I got 20/20 vision and a pot to pissing. Coming for your dinner with my juice, with my chicken. I need everything. I've been hungry for the start. I need everything. Run the juice, run the car. I need everything. I need everything. But let's see Jagger YSL get offended things. I need everything. I need everything. Not a little, not a lot. I mean everything. I need diamonds on my wristwatch. Two-tone AP with the big rocks. $500,000 on my neck, 6-figure on the dot. Hey, time to cut the check. I need Fendi, I need Gucci, yeah, that ball game. I need 20, 50s, 100s, yeah, that ball game. Going stupid in the lamb with the top down. I've been running for a decade, I won't stop now. No price sticker, rockin' ball main, ice dripper. Licking on me, shorty, know it, I'm a nice tipper. You be creeping on the gram, bitch, I'll get her. Yes, you fucking with a boss, I'm a fly. Feeling like I'm big, you better give me the loot. Feeling like I'm Bishop, better give me the juice. Came in riding in the metro by the leaving the coupe. You can miss me with the bull, boy, don't get it confused. I got 20/20 vision and a pot to pissing. Coming for your dinner with my juice, with my chicken. I need everything. I've been hungry for the start. I need everything. Run the juice, run the car. I need everything. I need everything. But let's see Jagger YSL get offended. I need everything. I need everything. Not a little, not a lot. I need everything.
Point the pistol at him, take the money out the register. New bitch look like Sierra, it's apparent I done leveled up. No Yaves, it's Ferrari, push you started when I rev it up. My slimey's right behind me and beside me, fucking fair one. You gon' get it, ho, if you don't give me everything. Married to the game, flipped a rock and bought a wedding ring. Shit that I be rocking out of stock, on top I better be. If I ever flop, I'm blocking pockets out your pair of jeans. Look, don't stare at me, spend everything on Beverly. Rather there's a nigga out there spitting who ain't scared of me. Invited me, I missed it, hit DK, she do the scheduling. My exes all regret it, bitch, I'm on the big and better things. I need everything, hey, ring and a chain. Hey, drinking every leaf, I roll up full of Mary Jane. Harry girl, I hit to be a 10 with friends and everything. Hit up JTA like, what's the play? And he said, hey,
I got 20/20 vision and a pot to pissing. Coming for your dinner with my juice, with my chicken.
I need everything. I need everything. He said, where my juice, where my chicken. Oh, wow. I'm pumping that because we are about to shoot this video. I had to reach out to JTA like, what's up? This song is on my radar. We need to shoot this video. Okay. He owns the beat too. So this thing finna go up. So thank you for listening. All right. So yeah, we're getting into some things, child. I want to start
Yes,
off
King PJ sounds so good, Goddess. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that real quick. He sounds so good.
Thank you. Yeah, I think he's the best. Like he writes, he performs, he does it all, child. And he looks good doing it. Not just saying that because he's my son, because I would say that if I just met him off the street and heard him rap. I'm just saying.
True lyricist. Yes.
Definitely.
Gifted, honey. Gifted.
So, me and you, we not strangers, child. We've been talking throughout all these years of me being on YouTube. haven't been here per se, but you have been here at the same time. I just want to say that
Absolutely.
because you are a blessing and a gift, child, and I appreciate you coming on tonight. Um,
And I appreciate you. I've missed you. I miss being here live, but yes, I'm always in the replay chat. I miss everybody. I'm so sorry that I've been away, work schedule, things like that. But I'm here tonight, baby.
woohoo! So I want to
Yes.
start. So we're going to talk about the two freakiest criminals, the two freakiest, okay, criminals that
Oh God.
are locked up right now. Who would have thunk it? Okay, 20 years ago,
Right.
even 30. Who would have thought these would both be locked up? Well, we know R. Kelly, they done threw away the key on him, but he's still trying to find that key to get the hell out. And
Okay.
I'm gonna read the motion they filed because
Good.
it's outlandish. I mean, I did the little, video just about the news story about it, how they filed this emergency motion for a temporary furlough. They want him on house arrest. They feel like his his life is in danger to the point
Child.
where he can't be moved anywhere. Like a logical, person would probably think maybe just move him, but
Right.
he needs to be put back out and to be able to go home. I mean, we don't know if Joycelyn is there or not or who, but I
Right.
think
Love and
that
light
would
to
be,
Jocelyn. Lord have mercy.
yeah,
Mm-mm-mm.
that would be a grave mistake. But I want to say hi to the in I want to say hi to the chosen ones. What's going on, Michelle? Family is good. How's your family? Give the babies a hug, child. Wow, Wayne, of course. Thank you for doing what you do. And you do it well. Thank you so much, sir. And of course, Love Warrior, she's here and representing. And
Yes.
Ju T is in the building. And I'm shocked actually because I know it's hella late or early in the morning, probably where you are. So I'm glad you're here. Um,
Yes.
so for now, anybody else in the replay, you hear this, it's much love to you and much appreciation. And that's pretty much what I want to say until we get into this document because I'm about to do that right about now. So let me just change the screen up. Wait, I want to still have you on here. Okay. Feel free to interject or whatever. Stop me, as I read this
Okay.
because it is a trip. So
Uh,
let's get
I
this
can't
down.
wait. Can't wait for you to read this.
Now let me start off by saying, don't take it personal. Okay, because it's a name in here, you know what I'm saying? And this is public information. So don't come for me because I'm reading the public information. And people who know this channel and have been a part or observer of the R. Kelly sector, which I don't think there's still a sector. It's dead to me. But I ain't been off that nigga's neck. So I just want to
Okay.
say, if you know the channel, you know that I have a problem or have had a problem with this person named in this document. But
Child.
I'm just doing what I do. It don't have nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
History. We got history. But you know what? This is some funny shit in the document. This is funny.
yeah, let's just get into it. Let's just get into it. So it's
Okay.
with just saying that it's an emotional emergency motion for a temporary furlough. They say, "Come now, defendant Robert Sylvester Kelly, by and through counsel Bo B. Brindley, and hereby moves this honorable court for release to home detention on a temporary furlough from his custodial sentence." Now, mind you, this man done got several decades, okay, and
Yep.
ain't served but a blip of it, and they want him to already be released, but okay. But it says in support of this motion, Mr. Kelly provides as follows. So here they start off all poetic and whatnot. Centuries, it's crazy. Centuries ago in ancient Rome, the poet Juvenal remarked, "Qui custodiet ipsos custodis?" Who will guard the guardians? This searching philosophical inquiry now finds real-world instantiation in the case before this court. Our Robert Kelly is a prisoner. His life depends on the oversight of literal guards and jailers who are entrusted with his safety. He has no choice in the matter. He puts his life in these people's hands because that is what the courts have ordered him to do. Yet,
Bo, he in prison, Bo. He's in prison, Bo. Like what the? Okay, let me be quiet. I'm sorry, Queen. Like
yet
damn.
explicit evidence has now emerged to show that the very officials charged with protecting incarcerated inmates have solicited Mr. Kelly's murder. And I'm just going to say the words today. I'm not monetized. Murder.
Okay. Wow.
All in an effort to prevent the uncovering of injustices perpetrated by Bureau of Prisons and Department of Justice officers, which Mr. Kelly and his attorneys are in the process of exposing. Evidence has been obtained that prior to his 2 trials in federal court, U.S. attorneys and Bureau of Prisons officials worked together to steal Mr. Kelly's attorney-client correspondence and his private communications while in custody. They then weaponized the information contained in this purloined correspondence to turn witnesses against Mr. Kelly and gain an unfair advantage against him at trial. Exactly. In short, the government has used stolen attorney-client correspondence to make a case against Mr. Kelly in violation of the Due Process Clause of the United States Constitution. When that information began to be exposed by Mr. Kelly's attorneys, officials in the Bureau of Prisons solicited another inmate to kill him. The facts underlying this motion are as stunning as is the remedy that must be sought: the release of a convicted inmate whose life is threatened by the very persons charged with protecting it. And so this court must now come to grapple with the ancient Roman inquiry. Who will guard the guardians? Who will hold them to account? Because in this moment, if no one does, a man will lose his life, and the injustices that motivate his destruction may never be revealed. Mr. Kelly therefore comes to this court with a fervent plea that it intervene to prevent that from happening. So there's that introduction to this motion. Now, from what I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, this was brought up during the trial.
Absolutely. And I just want to say, Mr. Bo, this like melodramatic introductory paragraph bullshit that you don't went talking about the ancient Roman is so unnecessary. Like, get to the point. Number 2, what evidence? Like, okay, let's say like Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez had his little hit on him. You know, when you're in prison, people threaten your lives. But what evidence has anybody tried to kill him? We going on innuendo and rumor? Because, like you said, these other facts, like you mentioned, they were brought up during the trial. You did have evidence. You were convicted and sentenced. Like, come on.
And they do have exhibits attached. I mean, and I'll get into that later, but I'm just saying the exhibits aren't the proof exactly. It's just, so let's just hear what they have to say, child. They say that Mr. Kelly is presently in custody serving a 30-year sentence for convictions in the Eastern District of New York case, you know, the case number, and 20-year largely concurrent sentence for his convictions in the above captioned Northern District of Illinois case. 2 whole cases, okay? Mr. Kelly is presently incarcerated at FCI Butner in North Carolina. It is uncontroversial to describe Mr. Kelly's case as high profile. Everything that occurs in this case heavily scrutinized in the media and on social media. For months, the Undersigned's office has been engaged in an investigation into whether various Brady and Giglio violations took place in both Mr. Kelly's criminal cases. A great deal of evidence has been uncovered, which indicates that Mr. Kelly's due process rights were indeed violated by the prosecution teams investigating him in both districts. The Undersigned's office continues to develop a motion to vacate Mr. Kelly's convictions on the basis of the Brady and Giglio violations that have been uncovered since this trial. And to say that I'm gonna say that they should have just continued following this process, because I always question, even with Tory Lanez, why you didn't just do this in an appeals. And they keep pressing the urgency, which I think is linked to that Trump pardon they're asking for, because there's something about people in dire need to get out because my life is at stake, and the pardon. I think there must be a stipulation in the pardon thing about that, because
I
they're putting
agree. And yeah,
Mhm.
no, I'm sorry. I agree.
Yeah, because that's so weird. Like Tory Lanez had the same stuff. That stabbing of his, it didn't even, to me, when I looked at the picture, I mean, it could have been Photoshop, but it looked like little toothpicks somebody poked into him. Um,
Right, right.
it didn't
Superficial
look,
type of wounds. Yeah,
yeah, very like I'll do it. I'll do it if you think it's necessary, you know.
right.
And paying off the person, of course, to take person has life sentence. So what is it they have to lose, you know?
And I think
So
you're right about the urgency with Trump because he has pardoned about 4 rappers and a few other people. So they want to get on that train. That train is moving. But you know what, guys? I just want to interject real quickly. I
yeah.
find it interesting that the one lawyer, Jennifer Von Cockroach, remember we named her Von Cockroach, when she because you just told me, I didn't realize that she had just recently stepped down once he probably got that denial for the New York case. Like, if anybody had a hope on appeal, that would have been the attorney. So it's really kind of cements that she's moved away from him, right? Like
Oh
that's
yeah, for
that's
sure. Yeah, she removed herself
yep,
and her two on April 3rd of, so it really didn't happen right away. I mean, it just happened, and it seems to me it happened after these claims are they supposedly are saying in March they received this. So in April she leaves him. That doesn't make
yeah.
sense.
No,
So
no. And it almost like it's stepping away because she even sees through this bullshit, right?
exactly, just like Holly, what is the attorney in Tory Lanez's case? I can't think of her whole name. Holly, the black attorney, reasonable doubt.
Yes, yes.
She left Tory Lanez's case right before it went to trial because of because of not similar things, but because she didn't agree with the route they wanted to take in blaming Kelsey. And I just read an email when we did the a couple weeks ago, we did a live, me and Afi, the attorney, and my psychologist friend Mitzen. We were all at the trial and we talked about the details of the charges. And I had never read this email before from her. And I didn't know that she was basically telling him, look, I'm gonna leave this thing to y'all, and I'm gonna do it in a way where
Mhm.
they don't know I'm leaving. You can just say I'm working behind the scenes because I don't want to tank the case, but I'm out.
Right.
Okay.
She
And I'm pretty sure
graciously stepped away because she didn't agree with his direction. Yep.
yeah. And I'm pretty sure Bonjean probably felt the same way, and she don't have time for that. And does he even have money still to pay these people? I'm wondering.
Okay.
But so it goes on. The investigation into these violations is not yet complete. So they're still investigating, okay, they say. However, recent events compelled the undersigned to disclose many of the facts that will underlie Mr. Kelly's upcoming motion. So they say the only way to begin the narrative necessary to explain the current circumstances is to focus on one witness the government did not have against Mr. Kelly at the time of his arrest on federal charges. The racketeering case against Robert Kelly in the Eastern District of New York
Mm,
hinged on the testimony of one critical witness, Jane New York. She was the central focus of the trial in New York. However, a fact that most
wow.
people are unaware of is that Jane New York started out by refusing to cooperate with the federal government in any way. She remained committed to Robert Kelly and had nothing negative to say about him. To the contrary, she was adamant that there was nothing improper about her relationship with Mr. Kelly. The way the government influenced and coerced her to change her mind is at the heart of what we believe to be shocking Brady and Giglio violations. And so we do remember, reel your mind back to when this trial was first starting. Remember when, I think it was even at the child support things he was going to, she and Joycelyn were showing up together hand in hand, skipping to and from the courtroom and giggling like the little girls they were. And it did seem that she was 10 toes down. But the way they say the government influenced and coerced versus the fact that it was R. Kelly who was actually influencing and coercing that got revealed. See, that's the thing that is crazy. But we're gonna see what they say.
But we're
how
gonna
this happened.
see what they
Oh,
say,
I'm echoing.
how this happened. You know what? I find it interesting that they're rehashing the shit that we already know from the New York case. We know that she wasn't coming forth initially, right? This almost sounds like this is Kells himself writing this damn thing. Okay, come
I
on.
think he did. I think
I
he told him. I think he told him what to say.
I think he told him. I think he told him what to say.
I'm
Yeah.
echoing. I'm echoing on. I think it's coming from.
I'm echoing. I think it's coming from. Is that coming
your
from?
phone?
Yeah, because I kind of lost you for a second too. I couldn't hear you. I didn't know if that was me, but
Okay. Okay, they're right.
okay.
So
Okay, they're right. So,
you might have
there
to
you go.
mute while I talk because
You
I'm
might have to
echoing.
mute while I talk because I'm echoing. Okay.
Okay. So they say while Robert
So
Kelly
they
was.
say while
Oh, I'm still echoing. Wait, hold on. I gotta find where this echo is coming from. Oh, it's gone now. Okay. While Robert Kelly was being held in custody on federal charges in the glaring absence of any evidence from Jane, New York. So they're saying he was being held in custody with no evidence. Well, none from Jane. But let's not act like he didn't have a good how many victims? I mean, a dozen at least. And let's not even count the uncharged. There were like 19 uncharged acts. Okay. But anyway, they say there was no evidence from Jane, New York, yet they held him, which in the U.S. Attorney's Office sought and needed. A series of crimes were committed. These crimes were not committed by Robert Kelly. They were not committed by anyone associated with prior incarceration. They were committed by federal officers. Like all inmates, Mr. Kelly's phone calls and emails were monitored by prison officials. However, in this instance, a Bureau of Prisons officer named Tawana Ingraham, and now mind you, they never named her before. She was always, I think, individual number something.
Individual number. Yes, you're right. They have never named her before. That's interesting.
So they say she was not listening to or monitoring Mr. Kelly's recorded calls and emails. She instead was stealing them. Specifically, Ms. Ingraham illegally accessed and stole a series of phone calls and emails regarding Mr. Kelly's relationship with a woman other than Jane, New York. Ms. Ingraham was a special investigative services disciplinary officer who had no business dealing with any of Mr. Kelly's communications. She did not work at the facility at which Mr. Kelly was being housed, and she was not even supposed to have access to the system containing his emails and calls. Yet somehow she was allowed to gain access and allowed to
gain access and allowed to
Mr. Kelly's private communications, both emails, recorded telephone calls. You want to interject something? We got to figure out why that is echoing. There's something. Are you on your phone?
There's something. Are you on your phone? Yeah, I'm on my phone.
You gotta mute it. Not mute you, but mute the live.
The live.
If the live is playing, you need to.
Okay. If the live is playing, you need to. Yeah. Okay, because I'm not in the live no more. I'm actually in StreamYard, but.
So you don't have the live playing anywhere? Okay.
Yeah, let me see. Hold on.
Okay. Well, they say there's an ongoing civil suit regarding her conduct pending right now for Honorable Judge Bucklow in Northern District of Illinois. And I did peek at that actually to see what the activity was on that. And it looks like the ball is in R. Kelly's court. There's been, the judge has been saying stuff like, you failed to do this and you failed to do that. And we're still waiting on it. Like, it sounds like there's no real progress because he's not doing what he's supposed to do on his end. You there? Okay, I guess I'll keep going. Just jump in when you want. Armed with it continues. Armed with illicit access, Ingraham stole emails and calls that were specifically inflammatory to Jane New York and which would likely to compel her to turn against Mr. Kelly out of jealousy. These were private conversations to which Jane New York was not privy. She had no way to know the content of these conversations. Hence, they were targeted and stolen for the purpose of turning her against Robert Kelly and thereby helping the government make its case. Only persons with knowledge of the investigation would have known which emails and calls to target and steal for the purpose of influencing Miss Jane. And they had a typo. They said Miss Jane, Illinois, but it's New York. The stolen communications included communications with his attorney at the time, which should have been protected under the attorney-client privilege. On its own, this is a shameful abuse of a position of trust by a federal prison official for the purpose of influencing the case against Mr. Kelly, but it became far more insidious than that. And here we go. Like I said, don't take it personal, because I'm just doing what I do. Okay. After Mr. Kelly's communications were stolen without his knowledge, these communications were provided to a cooperating government informant named Larry McGee. The defense continues to develop evidence regarding Mr. McGee. I think I heard you pop in. Did you come? Oh, it says your devices are not connected. Oh, here we go. Oh, hello.
All right, I don't know why it's like pausing when I hit my mic. I'm very sorry. I apologize, chat. I apologize, goddess. I just had to go back into the live, make sure that I didn't have my mic or anything on. I'm not in YouTube. I'm just on StreamYard. But
okay, cool.
I just wanted to ask.
Yeah, go ahead. I don't hear the echo, so we good, I think.
Oh, awesome. And I'll mute myself, make sure I mute myself when I'm not talking. I just wanted to and you may have heard me, but didn't they already deny the motion about her, with the emails? Wasn't that denied?
Yeah, they put a motion in about it. They it was pretty similar to this. I mean, except for the fact they didn't name that lady. Nor I don't think did they name,
so he's
I don't think they
pretty
named
much
Larry.
just reiterating the history of it for the record, because it's already been that's been denied, handled and denied. Okay, so we're reiterating it here. Okay,
I guess what they're saying is they have new evidence, so and that's going to come in. But I don't think they named Larry either. I think it was like individual people. I don't know. I don't remember, but nevertheless, they feel bold enough to do it now. They sure do. They coming in hot with this, and it sounds crazy, and it's gonna get crazier. This is just warming up, okay? So they say that
bring the fire, bring the heat. Okay.
they say so. They say that they are continuing to develop evidence against him, and to me, for them to put that in here, to me, it's like a warning sign to him, like we're looking into you and we're digging up stuff. Because it doesn't make sense to say that if there's nothing to it. It just doesn't make sense. Unless they're just doing
I agree.
what lawyers
I agree.
Lawyers, some of these lawyers, they're just there for the money grab and they'll do whatever. They'll do their tap dancing and, they're going to serve up stuff, their clients' request, just so they can get the billing, right?
Exactly, because at his little news conference, there wasn't nobody there but him and the other little attorney standing there. So,
oh my
come
God,
on,
I didn't even see the news conference. They had a news conference. I don't even think I knew that.
Yeah, they call it a news conference to announce this little lawsuit or whatever. But it wasn't nobody there but Bo and his two other little attorneys. There wasn't nobody there.
The party was empty. That's So they go on and they say the defense continues to develop evidence, like I said, regarding Mr. McGee, but there's strong reason to believe that federal prosecutors in the Northern District of Illinois and the Eastern District.
Got it.
Go ahead. You on mute.
Hold up. Wait a minute, because I must have been trying to get back to steam. You said McGee. What was the first name?
Well, they said Mr. on this part, but they said Larry.
Oh my God! Not the ringmaster, not the scamming, ringmaster Larry McGee
The one
named in
and
this.
the one, but
The
not the
one and
only.
only.
I don't know if he's the only, but he's the one. He's the
Oh
one.
my God! This is too funny.
Right. They start him on
What?
this is page 4 of this 20-page thing of him
Oh
being
shit!
named as an informant. They literally just said a cooperating government informant. And mind you, the first exhibit of this is his 75-page sentencing transcript that Larry, I guess from his sentencing, they
Oh
attested
my
to.
God! Oh my God!
They're not playing with this man.
I'm finna
So
ring the bell on this bullshit right here. Oh my God!
so So they said that there is strong reason to believe that federal prosecutors in the Northern District of Illinois and the Eastern District of New York supplied Mr. McGee with access to stolen communications and enlisted him to meet with Jane New York, a person with whom he had a connection, and use these stolen communications to influence her and coerce her into cooperation against Mr. Kelly. And all I have to
Oh
say,
shit!
listen, and you know what? He did this to himself. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just going to start with that, but let's continue. In social media
Okay.
videos, they say in social media videos, Mr. McGee has admitted that he has video of Jane New York at his home. He has admitted spending hours coercing her to turn her against Robert Kelly by showing her Kelly's calls and emails. Immediately following this meeting, Jane New York went to MCC Chicago, where Mr. Kelly was housed. She participated in a social visit with him. And at this visit, she quoted to him the content of his private emails and conversations to which she should never have access. Mr. Kelly instantly knew she had been given this communications, but had no idea how that could be possible. It made no sense at that time. Mr. Kelly believes and intends to prove that Larry McGee was supplied with stolen communications. He was sent to meet with Jane New York and influence her with these stolen communications, all while acting as an informant for the government and communicating with federal prosecutors in New York and Chicago. Immediately after her visit with Robert Kelly, Jane, Illinois contacted federal agents to turn against Robert Kelly. Woo! As a result of this conduct, Larry McGee was
Wow.
Larry
Wow.
McGee.
Wow. Wow.
I can't.
Mm.
Larry McGee was rewarded with a cooperation agreement from the government and has incredibly light sentence and an incredibly light sentence of 18 months. His sentencing transcript was redacted, so no one would know what he did or how he obtained the material to influence Jane New York. However, what is certain is that the only avenue to the reduced sentence with which he was rewarded was by way of cooperation. McGee was so brazen that he admitted on video and social media posts that he flipped witnesses against Mr. Kelly. I got him to lie, the bus driver.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Remember it.
Preach.
Um,
Preach.
he admitted that he got people to lie about Mr. Kelly. He did it. And government agents knew that he did it. They directed him to do it. They then hid their illicit conduct behind a sealed sentencing transcript to which Mr. Kelly and his defense team have been denied access. So they don't even know for sure. I mean, they don't have access, so they don't know what's behind those redactions actually. They
Correct.
seem they seem pretty convinced. Um they
All
say,
they got to do is pull all his old YouTube videos. I know the old Kel supporters and send it to him. You know what I'm saying? They can
yeah, I'm
pull
pretty
them.
sure people were sending those to the government and I mean to the defense the whole time. Um
Yep.
I think even if you delete YouTube videos, they can pull those. I think
Yeah.
so. So they say what is even worse is that McGee did not stop with Jane New York. Larry McGee arranged a meeting in California with both Jane New York and Jane Illinois, they say. Oh, the principal witness against Mr. Kelly in his Chicago case. Jane New York, too, had never cooperated against Mr. Kelly despite significant efforts to get her to do so. But at the direction of federal agents and prosecutors, McGee brought Miss Jane New York together with Miss Jane Illinois. He was a
So
trifecta.
wow. So they're talking about Rashana.
Yeah.
Wow.
Miss Landfair herself. They're saying
He
he
just
linked it.
inserted his ass all in this shit. We always knew it
So
though.
it's kind of like you dip your toe in because you want a piece of it, but he didn't know it was quicksand, and it just pulled his ass all the way in. That's
Yep.
crazy. So
Just
they
like
say,
just,
mhm,
just
go ahead.
like when he initially appeared on YouTube, when you graciously helped him build his channel, nobody knew
Yeah,
his ass and was indicted, and then the paperwork was getting ready to drop on his scamming ass. Like
right.
this shit is ridiculous. Like we should write a damn movie script on this.
Yeah. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Yeah, I did graciously help him. And that's funny to me that you mentioned that because people, my carrier pigeons, they be on it. They send me links. That's how I knew about this. I didn't know nothing about all this, the fact that he was in here. I mean, I saw the story, but then people are sending me links. I guess he went on a little tantrum and complained that he's suing him or something about this. But my
Oh,
thing is,
shut up. Your ass. Come on. What you gonna sue when you injected your ass all in this shit? Whatever little info you could peel away from Angelo, you were constantly just indoctrinated and giving that out on YouTube. Like, man, you did this to yourself, like you said, quicksand. Okay?
yeah,
So you
yeah,
stepped in it to do just what you were trying to do. You knew you were indicted. You were trying to get away to shave off shit off your sentence. It was always selfish. It was never about the greater good for victims. It was always about him. It was always a selfish aspiration and what he wanted as an end game, which was to try to get stuff off of his own sentence. So
yeah.
that was the game.
He definitely had a personal agenda, in my opinion, because it's like yesterday, 2019, when he came in my chat throwing that money with me. I think
Yep.
Angelo was with him too at the time, but me and Angelo, we actually ended up being cool and on the same page because when you have a common enemy, you know how that goes. But I
That's
found
right.
out a lot of things. He actually showed me some text messages too of some things, communications of him wanting me to stop my messy Mondays and just a lot of stuff, but he never will admit and never has, to my recollection, because when he tells his origin story, he never brings up my channel. He just talks about how
Right.
he was on Instagram with the mask and then he just came to YouTube and all of a sudden he just was the only person against R. Kelly, against all these supporter channels, which is
Well, that's a
bullshit.
damn lie. He wouldn't have had a channel without you because you graciously sent subs over to subscribe to him. And if he hadn't appeared on your channel, he would not have had a channel. Okay? So stop it.
Yeah, he came over here, he used my channel up. He then co he what is the word where you link up with the other side and then try to dox me and try to basically take my channel away because
Right.
he's competitive like that. I guess I wasn't even thinking on those lines. I wasn't even
Right.
thinking about nothing like that. I mean, but he, that's crazy. But that's what this is. This is karma, in my opinion, because you did
Right.
this to yourself. So
Right.
I don't, and not to say I necessarily, because I read some of this and I was like, that's pretty outlandish. I don't know if I actually believe all of this, but like I said, and like they're saying, he said it out of his own mouth. He talked
That's
about
right.
all of this. He had Jane at his house for how long?
Yes, he
Like a
did.
week, and played
Yes.
her the Surviving R. Kelly videos, and
She was at his sister's birthday party, hanging out with his daughter, the wife, all that. So stop it.
okay. So let's continue. Now, they
Okay.
say at the direction of federal agents and prosecutors, McGee brought Miss Jane New York and Miss Jane Illinois together, and he facilitated their ability to connect, communicate, and collude after first influencing Jane Illinois with Kelly's stolen communications. I think they meant New York. They have a lot of errors. Following that conversation, Miss Jane, Illinois, and Miss Jane, New York, were the central witnesses in 2 federal prosecutions. Additionally, throughout the California trip to meet with Mr. McGee and Jane, Illinois, Jane, New York was in continual text conversation. Jane, New York was in continual text conversation with U.S. Attorney in the Northern District of Illinois, Angel Crow. What is obvious from all of this is that when the government witnesses have been allowed to collude with each other and have been influenced by cooperating informants and stolen communications, that is, at the very least, Giglio material, which should have been disclosed to the defense to be potentially used on cross-examination. But this information about stolen communications and cooperating witness Larry McGee was kept from the defense. The investigation of Larry McGee and the Giglio violations that his conduct creates provides the factual backdrop for this motion. So basically what they're saying is that Larry McGee is the reason we're here.
That's right. That's exactly what they're saying. That is exactly what they're saying.
They say, but it is only the tip of the iceberg. That's what they're saying, because there's more. Mr. Kelly is now aware of what Mr. McGee has done. So now he's on R. Kelly's radar, is what they're saying. The defense is actively investigating what McGee has done. So they're basically looking into him and digging up what they can, and that's crazy.
And he played Kel's recording on his channel. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was but he played a recording that he should have never played. Like, he dug this hole, like you said. You're trying to
was it from Angelo's phone or something, or from
either from Angelo or but he had some little recording when he had Kel's on it. I remember that.
And I remember Angelo, when we would talk, he would say, man, I told Larry not to say nothing about, like, it would be something that he did a live about, because that's what he would do. He would use the information Angelo was telling him, because he was supposed to be helping Angelo. According to Angelo, he was just there because Angelo didn't have connects in Chicago like Larry supposedly had, and he needed, to keep tabs on his daughter. So Larry was supposed to help him with that intel. But he said he would tell Larry stuff and say, just keep this on the low. And next thing he know, Larry done gone live and not only told what he said, but probably also embellished a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Who does that? Like, really?
Especially when he would get on one of his little drinker links, then it would really be on. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's
he
funny?
Really let it out.
When I said that, I just imagined him swigging from a bottle. That's what's funny when you brought that up. I wasn't even gonna say it, but you said it, so there it is.
Yep.
So they go on to say, and the defense knows that at least one former Special Investigations Unit officer was involved in this plot to steal Mr. Kelly's communications and influence his case. The defense is presently developing evidence regarding these events. A copy of McGee's redacted sentencing transcript is attached to this motion, Exhibit A. My God. Now, this is a high-profile case, child. Now, I can't even imagine, as just a lay person, having my name all throughout this type of emotion, and my personal sentencing transcript, because I've had done some time for something else, is on blast as an exhibit. That's insane.
Yep. That's crazy.
I feel like this is manifested, but manifested in the wrong way. You know how manifestation is tricky. Like, it's like you want something, but you go about the wrong way of getting it. Instead of following the right path, you follow the wrong path, and you end up getting it in a way you did not want. Because in my opinion, this guy wanted attention, he wanted fame, he wanted, probably fortune too. He ain't gonna get fortune with this, but he wanted that notoriety, I guess you could say. And now he's getting it.
And he laid the seeds. And like you said, manifestation can be positive with, the right frequency, the watering, the intention, and the purpose of what you're doing. But his intention, although he stated was always about the victims, it wasn't. It was always a selfish, laying of seeds, and the seeds that he laid is a manifestation of, like I said, we can go back to the beginning of this when he was already indicted under his scam and shit,
Right. Yeah.
$1.6 million. And that's what DJ Tyson and them used to say. The $1.6 million.
1.6. You know what's funny is
Yep.
shout out to Love Queen or Beautiful Spirit too, because she used to call him early release. and, this, and this is exactly what they're saying. He was released early because he did this. And that's the
That's
thing.
right.
When you are a low vibrating, low frequency individual, you're gonna attract you're trying to manifest something good and positive for yourself, but you're gonna manifest it in the worst way possible. You only can manifest things that's on your same level of frequency. So
Yeah.
you got to get your frequency and your vibe up if you want to get the positive side of what you want. There's two sides to
Right.
every coin. Right. So,
And his intention from the get-go was never pure in purpose, you know?
mhm,
And
exactly.
so the ringmaster is now, like you said, this is karma like a MF. And like you said, the fact that he's being named all throughout this now, child, honey, hush, child, please, like we say in the South. Mm,
And
mm, mm.
they doing it loud and bold. They not giving
Yep.
him no, they not saying individual one, or they're not even giving him initials, or like they're just like, boom, this is who did it. And
Yep.
we're investigating him. Okay,
Mm,
so
mm, mm.
they say with all of that under investigation by the defense team, the defense counsel learned that Mr. Kelly had received cryptic communications from a person who he believed to be his former cellmate at the MCC in Chicago. This man is Kishan. Oh, I cannot pronounce. Let me see. Modu Gamudi. And I'm going to call him KM from now on. Okay. But they say KM was Mr. Kelly's cellmate both before he was transferred to New York to face trial there, and again after he came back to MCC to face trial in Chicago a month later. Having a
Wow.
consistent cellmate, yeah, that's kind of weird. Having a consistent cellmate following a lengthy departure from MCC is very unusual, they say. The reason for that has since become apparent. Mr. or KM ultimately requested a visit from attorneys for Mr. Kelly. One of the undersigned associates, Edward McDavid, Mr. McDavid, oh Lord, met with
Mm.
KM at MCC Chicago to determine precisely what it was that he wanted to communicate. So instead of the lawyers going, his co-conspirator met with them instead.
Right. Right. That man was fighting for his damn life in the Chicago trial. What kind of bullshit is this?
That is crazy. So he went and met with this dude and said, what is it that you want? Why do you want to meet with his lawyers? So in the meeting, they say KM admitted that in exchange for the possibility of a reduced sentence, he agreed to steal Mr. Kelly's written correspondence and provide it to prison officials, who would then give it to the United States attorneys handling the investigation against Mr. Kelly. KM was debriefed by Angel Crow and agreed to provide cooperation. This
Ain't
cooperation,
nobody want
what
that damn chicken scratch and kill.
could he even write? I thought he was illiterate. Oh wow. It said this cooperation came in the form of stealing correspondence from Mr. Kelly and providing it to the government. USA Kroll was also the person to whom the stolen correspondence was ultimately provided. Now they tried this during the trial. They put a motion in about her. I remember. And it was denied. All right. So they said
Yeah.
KM, yeah,
Yeah, they
KM
did. And
was
and
go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say the ringmaster used to drop her name all the time. Remember?
Oh yeah, I know.
He's got
I
all
don't
his
know that
stuff. He's
lady.
sending over to her. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did initially did say make it seem like they had some little relationship or they were communicating, right? Until he ended up in some paperwork and he was, I don't know that lady. I never talked to that lady before.
Yeah.
That's just not how it works, dude. It don't work like that. So here we are a couple years later,
Mm-mm.
and it's like this is not good. Okay, so
Mm-mm.
they say that KM would root. So KM, they're saying, was in the New York cell with him, and then he was in the Chicago cell with him. Now, if you were R. Kelly and this was the case, would you not appeal something to your attorneys to get you moved, or like to? Wouldn't you think something was up? Like, how are you in
Yeah.
my cell
Yeah,
in New
for
York
sure.
and you back in my cell in Chicago? I would definitely know they sick that person on to me if this is the case. Like, that's crazy.
That's right.
So they say that this man was taking Robert R. Kelly's mail while he was at a visit or somewhere else in the facility. And in particular, he made a point of stealing his legal mail that was written to his lawyers. These were letters that were marked legal mail by Mr. Kelly. This was the intentional theft of attorney-client correspondence, which violated Mr. Kelly's constitutional rights and gave the government unauthorized access to his strategy and to confidential facts to which they were not entitled. That stolen mail was then handed off to Special Investigations Officer named Luke, who copied it and gave it back to the original for Mr. KM to the cell like it never was gone.
Wow. Now, if they did take his legal mail, that is illegal. But
Who was
are they
sharing
going
it?
by KM's word on this? Like, what? I don't understand, because they would have to have proof of that.
I know, that's what I was gonna say. If he, well, they're saying they have proof, so I'm wondering, do they have the copies? They say that they were copied and the originals were returned, so he could put
Yeah,
it back like he never, like he never took it. But yeah, in order to make this type of allegation, you got to have the proof. You got to have the copies, because
absolutely.
so they say that Kroll then handed it over to Elizabeth Geddes. Shout out to Elizabeth Geddes, she did a hell of a job.
Yep.
The prosecutor in charge of the New York prosecution. They say the stolen correspondence included information about Mr. Kelly's relationship with another woman, which was to be kept secret from Jane New York, as it would create a serious jealousy problem in the relationship with Kelly. Now, come on,
You
we
know,
know good
hold on,
about.
guys. Hold on, guys. Let me tell you something. Kel's messy ass with Jocelyn and Az thinking that anybody else is responsible for him having, secret correspondence with them and that not getting out or whatever. That's his own shit. That ain't nobody else's fault. What is he talking about?
Right, and on top of that, the way they're wording this, they make it seem like they didn't know about each other. They fully knew about each other.
They're living together. What the hell are they talking
Exactly.
about?
So the way they worded it is it's I
They're trying
understand
to
that.
change history.
Yeah, I mean, I do understand maybe there's something in the correspondence she didn't know, or like she didn't know that he was telling her certain things, but she knew about her. So already right
Absolutely.
there, yeah, I don't know if they know that or they just doing this. They're just spinning all types of narratives right here. But
They're going by what Kels is saying, and Kels is directing this shit.
oh, lying ass Kales, come on now.
Mhm.
So he goes on, this goes on to say, no one besides Mr. Kelly and his attorney had access to that information. Following the theft of that particular correspondence, KM reports that Miss Jane Illinois came to the visiting room to see Mr. Kelly. They meant New York, so there's another typo. Miss Jane New York came to the visiting room to see Mr. Kelly and confronted him with information that was included in the attorney-client correspondence that KM stole and gave to the government. Yeah, I remember when that happened. That was all over. We were all talking about that.
We were
But
all on that because
yeah,
she wanted to continue seeing him, because remember they could only see each other like 30 or 60 days, and she found out she wasn't going to be able that he had actually went ahead and had Jocelyn come, and she was pissed off. I
right,
remember that.
right. I guess she thought she was number one. So they went ahead and said that during R. Kelly's trial in New York, prosecutors advised his attorneys that they had just been made aware of an investigation of some of Mr. Kelly's communication. So now here they're bringing up the motion that was filed when he was in the trial. So they say the prosecutor said the investigation was ongoing and they had no other information to provide. They contended to have no knowledge of who had stolen the communications and what was done with them. When Mr. Kelly asked to have time to investigate, this theft could influence the case against him, prosecutors claimed they had no other information to provide. None of that was true. in reality. And the thing is, too, the judge was aware. So the judge could have said, this is something we need that needs to get looked into. I don't know if you can pause a trial or how that works, but it's not like, this was some unknown thing. This was an
And it
actual
wasn't
filing.
anything, and it was nothing that would impact the actual trial when you really think about it. Okay, maybe taking the legal documents, that's the only thing I'm a little stuck on. But your problem between your women, or even the stealing of the emails, was not going to change the evidence that was presented on you at the trial. Nothing changed
Exactly.
that. Man Act, all of that. Like, what the hell are you
Right.
talking about?
Yes, Jane wasn't the only witness. He had quite a few victim witnesses, and I believe
Like you
out of
said, the
all of them,
19 that weren't even charged. Right.
yeah, they were the uncharged ones, and one of those people were charged. I think they let them off because they testified, but they got charged as well. But the thing is that the how many? I don't even remember how many witnesses there were. Like more than a
Five,
dozen. I mean,
six, seven.
yeah, at least 10. I'm thinking. I don't know, 10, 11.
Yeah, yeah,
Only
yeah,
one
yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
Only one of them did the jury not believe, and I don't remember
That's
her
right.
name.
That's right. The one that was from
So
Colorado or something. Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, so Jane was not the only witness. They making it seem like she was the only witness, and that's the reason he went in. No.
And they're
So they
trying to
go
make it
on.
seem like any of this motion would actually change what happened in the trial. And it's not. The evidence was overwhelming.
Very much
It's
so.
crazy.
So they say in reality, at the federal prosecution's office, the federal prosecutors in New York claimed a lack of knowledge about the investigation communications. The truth was that a search warrant for Tawana Ingram's home and electronic devices had already been executed, which is Exhibit B. The application for that warrant identified undeniable evidence that she stole Mr. Kelly's communications. The search of her residence confirmed it. Information about the sale of the stolen material and use of the evidence by Larry McGee. And it's funny they're not saying nothing about Tasha K.
I know. I
Because
thought about that.
yeah, I'm not
That's
seeing Tasha
crazy.
K's name. That's interesting. But they're saying that the use of the evidence by Larry McGee was well known to the U.S. Attorney's Office, and all of that information was in possession of the federal prosecutors who denied having it. Also in their possession was the attorney-client mail stolen by KM, which was used to influence witnesses against Mr. Kelly. This too was hidden from Mr. Kelly and his lawyers. Consequently, Mr. Kelly lacked the ability to attack the central witness against him based on a jealous bias that was intentionally generated through the use of communication stolen by a federal officer and trafficked to a cooperating by federal prosecutors and agents, and legal mail stolen by a cellmate and trafficked to prison officers who gave it to federal prosecutors. This is a whole conundrum. Who even
Yeah, it is.
together all this mess? This is insane. And we haven't even gotten to like the real, like, mind-blowing part of what is they're claiming here. I mean,
Uh oh. Oh shit.
it's crazy. So they're saying that KM provided this information in the presence of a certified Telugu interpreter. So I guess KM doesn't speak English. I don't know what Telugu, what language is
Oh my
Telugu.
god.
He don't even speak English, but they had a certified interpreter. Mr. McDavid then visited KM a second time. This occurred in March 11th of 2025. Okay, so now at this meeting, Mr. McDavid and the Telugu interpreter discussed with Mr. KM the execution of a written statement summarizing some of the information that was provided at their prior meeting. Now, why would KM admit to doing this if he did steal the mail and all? Oh, I guess they're going to tell us. So let's see. It says KM
Okay.
ultimately signed a statement, which was also executed by the certified interpreter to demonstrate that it was fully and accurately translated for KM prior to its execution. A copy of that signed statement will be attached to this filing, Exhibit C, along with the resume of the certified interpreter, Exhibit D. In that written statement, KM again admitted to the theft of Mr. Kelly's attorney-client correspondence, the transfer of that stolen correspondence to an SIS officer, Officer Luke Selby, at MCC, and the ultimate provision of that stolen correspondence, I say Kroll. KM also indicated that prosecutors in this case asked him why he was being visited by attorneys from the undersigned office even before Mr. McDavid obtained his signed agreement. And at this point, the signed statement was obtained. The undersigned office had in its possession a signed admission insider who confessed his role in a conspiracy to violate the constitutional rights of Mr. Kelly and bias witnesses against him through the use of stolen privilege information. Now,
All
this
of these,
conspiracy,
all these MS were trying to collude to get their own little, sentence reduced and everything. Like this shit is so dirty. This is like so
uh-huh,
many levels, like you said. This is a mess.
it's crazy. Uh, it's insane, actually. So they're saying that conspiracy involved the Bureau of Prisons and was apparently orchestrated by the U.S. Attorney's Office. So okay, there is no room left. They
That's a
said to
reach.
speculate. It's I'm thinking it
That's a
is
reach.
because they don't
Them
ever want to
trying
put
to.
themselves. They don't ever want to put themselves in this type of position where they could be put on blast like this. Like they're not going to leave any. Even if they did do it, you think they're going to be leaving some loose ends around? Like, come on now.
You remember the video that you used to play because we used to recap this stuff daily during the trial, both trials actually. Them wheeling in all that damn evidence, and we would just be laughing.
I still had that
You
picture too.
thinking
There was
all
a
them damn
video.
boxes of damn evidence they were wheeling in there every day that they wouldn't have, like you said, crossed their I's and dotted their T's? Are you kidding me?
Carts of evidence. And then meanwhile, his attorney's walking in with a composition notebook.
Yeah.
Come on.
What was that man? I can't even think of that man's name. Had the
Oh
audacity in closing arguments to bring in Martin Luther King. Shut up.
man.
What the hell's wrong with you people?
Oh wow.
What was
That
her
was
name? You named her. What was her name? Oh my God, I can't think of the name
Tricky
of the
Nikki.
woman. Yeah, Tricky Nikki got it there and said, and find the offended guilty, Your Honor.
Guilty. She's the opening
Jesus.
argument by telling the jury to find him guilty. She should have been
Remember
fired
that?
on the spot. I would have fired
And
her
then you
ass on the
named her
spot.
Tricky Nikki, and everybody started calling her Tricky Nikki.
I think Kim did that. I mean, her beautiful spirit. I
Oh
think she
yeah, but
named
that was funny.
her. So they go on and say the conspiracy involved in the Bureau of Prisons was apparently orchestrated by the U.S. Attorney's Office. There's no room left to speculate about some way that the U.S. Attorney's Office did not know about the corrupt conduct of these cooperating persons. By his own admission, they directed Mr. KM to do the same kind of thing that Tawana Ingraham did when she stole private emails and calls and sent by Mr. Kelly. Special investigators officers, investigations officers in the Bureau of Prisons were the ones handling the stolen correspondence in both instances. Ingraham's theft has been documented and undisputed. So has she been charged with anything? Or I mean,
I think remember she resigned, but they never did charge her.
yeah, they said she resigned like right before this stuff came up.
Yep. Yep.
Interesting. So they say, of course, when a cooperating person is influencing and communicating with potential witnesses with the government's knowledge and at their direction, it is absolute duty of the government to disclose the cooperator's conduct to the defense and permit the defense to use this information about the government directed influence of witnesses for cross-examination. Come on now. Of the witnesses who were biased and influences. When stolen correspondence is being shown to potential witnesses as a means of biasing them, against the defendant, that has to be disclosed. This can confront the witness with that information or possibly get the witness's testimony excluded. Yet what happened here is that both McGee's and KM's involvement was hidden rather than disclosed. McGee's influence over the witnesses was denied rather than acknowledged. In a letter to his attorney in the Chicago case, the government claimed no knowledge of Larry McGee. We don't know who that nigga is. We don't know that nigga.
Wow.
You can't
This
fake
is
influence.
crazy.
Can't fake influence. Congratulations.
Okay.
Congratulations. You made it, nigga. You made it.
You made
Furthermore,
it, nigga. You made it.
furthermore, no disclosure regarding the thefts committed at the government's behest by Mr. KM ever occurred either. No disclosure. Can you let me get this call real quick? Can you take the helm for a sec?
Sure.
My son is
Hey,
calling.
chat. I can't see you guys, but isn't this the craziest thing? I don't know. I know Wayne knows. Chuti, you might remember if you're still hanging in there, Michelle. All this craziness with the Kel sector and the ringmaster here, but this is crazy going on right now. Um, that he's trying to bring out this motion again to get out of prison. I don't think it's going to work, guys. I really don't, because this initial motion that they already did about the Bureau of Prisons, this Tawana lady, that was already presented and denied. He's done appeals now to try to get out of prison. Those have been denied. Jennifer, I know y'all are going to laugh, but we used to call her Jennifer Von Cockroach. The fact that she stepped away, that is very alarming. Like, because that woman has gotten people out of prison, but the fact that she has now stepped away from his case, she probably didn't agree with this new motion that's going on, you know? Um, the insinuation about threats on his life, that is a fact of prison life, unfortunately, because if prisoners think that he has access to money, they could, absolutely threaten him, right? I know that Buckner prison there in North Carolina is for a lot of prisoners that have been sentenced for sexual type abuse, pedophiles and things like that. Like, I know that prison is known for that, but at the same time, you got people that, could threaten him, so I'm not surprised with the threat on his life. That's something he probably would constantly have to face because they think, he's got access to money. So I'm not surprised about that. But
Yeah,
I don't think this motion is going anywhere, guys.
yeah, I don't think so either. Juti says there are other ways to get that information, though, not just attorney-client communications. They are trying to throw sand in our eyes.
I
Yeah, that's a
love
good
it.
way to put that. Yeah, but they claim they have proof. So this is why they are following this path, because they claim that the puzzle pieces have been put together and they have all the proof, is what they're saying. So,
They better.
um, let's see. So they're saying days after McDavid obtained the signed statement from Mr. KM, including these admissions, Mr. Kelly was contacted by a prison official at FCI Butner. The official in question advised Mr. Kelly that he got a call that they, in quotes, and it says meaning the government, knew that his lawyers in Chicago had been meeting with a witness in jail and that this witness had provided information to the lawyers. The official then advised Mr. Kelly that he was in danger and that Mr. Kelly needed to be careful. So they're saying a BOP official, a prison official at the Butner facility where he is, warned him that he's in danger against other officials, apparently. Um,
Mm.
says that this official intimated that Mr. Kelly was not safe in the BOP custody, and that this official further advised that he should avoid the mess hall. He told him, don't go to the mess hall.
Wow.
This is
Well,
a
you know
particular.
what the most they would do, in my opinion, is that they would move him to another prison. But
Right,
to release him early, that's not going to happen.
exactly.
And they will
So that,
investigate if there's anything true about any of these officials. Um, if there is some type of threat, they will investigate, find out who that person is, and they will suffer those consequences if it's true.
yeah, if it's
But just
true.
to release him, no, that doesn't erase all the evidence in which you were charged with and sentenced with. That doesn't change that. This doesn't even change your sentencing. Really, it really doesn't.
Right. And it shouldn't. I mean, what? So they're saying that don't go to the mess hall, and this is a particularly poignant conversation because KM statement implicated a special investigators officer presently working in the BOP. And Mr. Kelly is now in very reasonable fear of harm because of the people who may wish to keep quiet the information that has been just been disclosed are prosecutors and jailers, the very persons who have ability to influence the inmates with which he is housed and the guards who might choose to look the other way. Now, don't you think if they really wanted something done to him, it would have been done?
Yeah.
I mean, what would have kept them from doing something already?
And if he's a target, like I was saying to the chat when you took the call, because they think he has money or something, this is something that happens every day in prison, right?
Exactly.
So it's not, it's very common if a prisoner that has notoriety, famous, let's just say famous, or is insinuated to have money, that he would be a threat, or they would have threats on his life. That's not uncommon.
What's going on, Ray Ray? Ray all day. She said maybe he's in danger because his eldest daughter divulged that he had sex with her when she was a child. Last year she said that. Oh yeah, she put that little documentary out, and I mean that's not going to fare you well in prison either. I don't, so
No,
that information,
that's
yeah,
crazy.
that information definitely didn't help him. So they're saying that what is even more troubling is that Mr. Kelly has been attacked by an inmate before. While housed at MCC Chicago, a federal inmate approached the MCC counselor and announced a plan to physically attack Robert Kelly. The counselor did nothing to stop it. Instead, he permitted the
Well, they
man to
beat his ass because Debo and all them were out there damn picketing and they were locking him down. That's why they beat his ass.
That's what they said, that they were pissed off that they got locked down, so they beat his ass. But they're
Yep,
saying that
remember?
this officer or counselor, whoever, turned their head and did nothing to stop it and permitted the man to be released in an area where he was being housed. And then the man was able to gain access to Mr. Kelly, violently attack him while he was sleeping, strike him in the head, and savagely assault him. In the wake of the assault, the inmate wrote a letter saying he was put up to this attack by federal officials. No investigation followed. No information was provided to the defense. So why did the defense work for answers to that? Because why
Yeah,
wasn't
that's a
the
twisting of
investigation?
facts. That's a
Yeah,
twisting of facts because that is not what was said. They did identify the guy that beat his ass, and yes, he did beat him in the head and all that. But if I remember correctly, the investigation showed that they were pissed off because they were getting locked down.
right.
Wasn't nothing about no damn prison official set him up to do that. That was not.
Yeah,
Yes, there's
that
some
was
kind of
not
twisting of
part
facts
of
going
it.
on.
Exactly. They're using clearly that incident to connect to what they claim is happening now.
Right.
Yeah, but they of this troubling dialogue with the prison official on April 11, 2025. Now, mind you, Bonjean left April 3rd, in the middle of all
Wow.
this bullshit. But they say on April 11th, an inmate incarcerated with Mr. Kelly approached him and disclosed that he was sent to FCI Butner by BOP officials who directed him to murder Mr. Kelly. The inmate's name is Mikhail Stein. He is a member of
Damn.
the Aryan Brotherhood gang, and he has been in Bureau of Prison custody since 1982, with one brief interrupted by his escape. Lord. While incarcerated, he rose to the position of commissioner of the Aryan Brotherhood. Why would they put him in his cell with him if he's supposedly from a Aryan Brotherhood? Is that what they?
Who would be who
Or
would
not a
love
cell?
to
Uh-huh.
who would love to commit an act on Kels just for the notoriety of it, Like, come on.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what they do. It says he has signed a declaration setting forth a long history of assaults and murders that he has ordered and participated in at the direction of the Bureau of Prisons, Exhibit E. So they got him to sign something. Are they just paying these people? Because this man, they say, is terminally ill. I think he's mentally ill, but they say he's terminally ill, probably easily compromised. And I think that's what they do. They find people who are easily compromised to, and it reminds me of juror number 6 in Diddy's case, which we will get to shortly. But to get them to partake in this narrative they're trying to spin and help them put a puzzle together. It's
Oh, there
like,
you are. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I'm echoing again.
I'm echoing again.
Did you do something different? Oh, I'm okay.
Oh,
We're
okay.
good.
We're good.
No, I'm still echoing. Why am I echoing? Ray said he can write a song about his pain like everybody else and call it Trapped in My Cell.
Oh, that is funny. Ray, that is funny.
Yeah, him and Tory Lanez need to do, they both need to do that. And Diddy too, actually. You know, because, you know, all this pardon bullshit, like, come on. I could see him writing a song to Trump, you know. Can I suck your dick? Can I suck your dick? For you to let me out real quick. Okay. It says that this man from the Aryan Brotherhood, he signed a declaration setting forth all this stuff that he supposedly has done. Why he would do this for R. Kelly is beyond me. But it says that inmates who pose problems for a BOP staff and or inmates with whom staff members were engaged in illegal business were attacked and or killed by members of the Aryan Brotherhood. So he's saying basically we do business with the BOP. We actually are henchmen for the BOP. This is what they do. We do this kind of stuff all the time. But for some reason, he decides not to do it to R. Kelly. He's going to instead confess to him. Okay. Well, they say that as the commissioner of the Aryan Brotherhood, Stein directed members of the AB, they call it the AB, to commit these acts. So in exchange, he and other AB members received special privileges, including no cell searches, ability to traffic narcotics within the prison without interference. And Stein indicated that a prison official who has overseen multiple BOP facilities solicited his participation in multiple killings and assaults. This official's name is R. Childress. Stein many interactions with Childress. Mm-hmm. You gonna say something? Oh, okay.
No, go ahead. No.
You might have to go out again because I'm echoing a lot again. I don't know why. It shouldn't, if you're not on YouTube, it shouldn't echo at all.
Yeah, I'm not on YouTube. I'm only on StreamYard.
Okay. I don't know why. Let me make sure it's not me because I sometimes have YouTube open. Let me just make sure real quick. Okay. YouTube. I have a lot of YouTube tabs open too. Nope, not there. Not there. Thank you for your patience, y'all, but I need to make sure. Nope. Okay, I don't see nothing on my end, so okay, we're wrapping this up. So they say Stein had many interactions with Childress while incarcerated at the ADX Florence Supermax facility. Childress has ordered murders and beatings that have been carried out by Stein and those to whom he gave directions. Stein is prepared to testify regarding these murders in order to provide a foundational backdrop for what happened when Childress approached him about Mr. Kelly. So on or about February of 2023, Stein was housed in the special housing unit at USP Tucson. Without any warning, he was approached for an unexpected official visit. No Bureau of Prison guards were present. Instead, Mr. Childress directly approached him. Warden Gutierrez and Associate Warden Stengel were with him. They took him out of his cell, brought him to an office area in the special housing unit. Being moved without any guards is unprecedented, but it was done in this instance. Once in the office, Childress did all of the talking. He advised Stein that he was aware of his terminal cancer diagnosis. He said that he knew Stein had only a matter of months to live, and he said he had a plan that would allow Stein to live out the last of those months as a free man. Well, here we are in 2025, and he's still alive, it sounds like, and he's still in prison. But it says that Childress advised Stein he was being sent to FCI Butner. He further advised that there was an inmate at Butner who poses a threat to the BOP and to the government, a person whose high-priced lawyers were going to expose damaging information that would harm high-ranking BOP officials and other officials. Childress told Stein that he needed him to eliminate the problem. Childress asked Stein if he was familiar with the musical artist R. Kelly. Stein only knew of Kelly from the news. Childress told Stein that Kelly was a R-worder. He told Stein that Kelly R-worded little white girls. He told Stein Kelly was a scum. He told Stein that Kelly was someone that the AB would want gone. Childress told Stein that he would be sent to Butner and that Stein would go to the medical center first and that he would eventually be moved to Kelly's unit. There, Childress indicated that Stein should kill R. Kelly. And then Childress told Stein he would be charged for the murder, but the evidence would be mishandled.
This is crazy.
This is a movie. They said the evidence would be mishandled, but there would be no conviction. And further told Stein that he would be transferred following the killing. And on the way, Stein would be permitted to escape, just as he did when he first escaped from BOP custody. And then Childress told Stein to live out his last days as a free man as long as he did what he was told.
Has Kelly been at Buckner since 23?
That I'm not sure.
He may have.
Well, he was convicted in 21.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, probably.
Okay.
So then Stein agreed to this proposal, and Gutierrez and Stengel, the warden and the assistant warden or whatever, they were there for that conversation. Following the conversation, Stein was taken back to his cell in the SHU. And then within 2 weeks of meeting with Childress, they say Stein was transferred to Butner. And then as a general matter, BOP transfers, they say almost never happened that quickly. So they're saying that they know it was ushered by these officials. And then after arriving at Butner, Stein was not on Kelly's unit. He was ultimately taken to the medical center, just like they told him, and that he was there between October 17, 2023 to March of 2025. So he was in the medical center for a year and 6 months or some months in the medical center. Okay. Well, it is a medical facility though, right? Isn't Butner a medical, some type of federal medical facility?
I know that it houses a lot of sexual deviant crimes, but I don't know that it may have a huge medical wing. That part I'm not familiar with, but again, it might be some truth. I don't doubt that bureau officials, utilize Aryans or high up and ranking people within the prison to do their dirt. But I still think that they're trying to string a bunch of this shit together. I really do.
Okay. So it says, while at the medical center, Stein was approached by an official in a suit. He does not know his name. This official told Stein he knew his diagnosis. He knew there was no treatment available. He told Stein, "You need to do what you came here for." Shortly after that visit, Stein was moved to R. Kelly's unit. He arrived on the unit in March of 2025. And we're in June now, just the FYI. I mean, we are in June. So if he was going to get done, he would have been done. Okay. So it says after arriving.
I agree.
Yeah. After arriving on the unit, Stein found Mr. Kelly. He followed him. He watched him. He considered how to carry out his murder. He was prepared to carry out the execution. But in the moment, when Stein got near Mr. Kelly, he made a different choice. He told him the truth. He told Kelly he was going to kill him. He told him how and by who. He told Mr. Kelly that his life was absolutely in danger. As a dying man with a long history of murder and violence in his past, Stein decided not to carry out his order. Instead, he decided to take this opportunity to expose Childress and the BOP for the decades of murder and violence that they have foisted upon the inmate populace while facing no consequences whatsoever. So now he wants to face consequences. Now he's putting himself in a position to face consequences.
And he's going to go to a black man, an Aryan, and confess to a black man? Are you serious?
Exactly. So they say Mr. Stein is prepared to take a polygraph. He's prepared to testify before the court. He's prepared to provide the names of other witnesses who can corroborate his account of the violence that the Aryan people carried out at the direction of Childress and other BOP officers.
They're going to wheel his ass back to the medical area of that prison. They're going to give him an overdose of morphine, and that's going to be bye-bye to him.
Exactly. I was just thinking that. But it says, as of the writing of this motion, and this motion was filed on June 11th of this year, just recently. They say that at the writing of this motion, other AB members are now present in Mr. Kelly's unit. Another BOP officer at Butner, named Lieutenant Teague, has approached Mr. Stein on multiple occasions to remind him that he must do what he was sent to do. On June 6, 2025, the defense learned that a second member of the Aryan Brotherhood, who is housed at Butner, had just been approached by Lieutenant Teague as directed to carry out the execution of Mr. Kelly and Mr. Stein. This man's name is David Keith Harris. The possibility of poison being mixed into the food at the chow hall and in the commissary as a means of achieving these executions was discussed with Harris by Lieutenant Teague. This means that at least two now white supremacists and members of the Aryan Brotherhood have been approached by BOP officers and directed to take Mr. Kelly's life. The one who failed to do so has now laid down his own life is now threatened.
Why haven't they moved Kelly?
Exactly. And what took them so long to file this, if this is the case too? I mean, they say in March, the guy came to him, I think they said. But it says both Stein and Harris have agreed to take. So now Harris, the one who was sent there, is also now saying he'll take a polygraph as well, and he'll testify as well. And it says time is of the essence. It is with these breathtaking facts in mind that Kelly asked this court for an extraordinary legal remedy, his release from Bureau of Prisons custody. So then they go on to argue about, how this is a threat against his constitutional rights, and they go on to say all these things. Legalese way of saying he's in danger against the people who are supposed to be protecting him, and that his 8th Amendment is violated. They have all this case law as well, and they're saying
I don't see them releasing him. I can see them moving him, but to release him, I don't see it.
No. They're also saying he has a fear of retaliation just for telling all this as well. Seems to me they're also in danger for filing this, the attorneys, I mean, because you're the one moving the pieces to this. So you're the one that needs to be watching your back.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much just, let me just make sure the declaration. So they're basically also saying that inmate murder at the behest of prison officials is not new or uncommon. So this is just, we're basically exposing something that is very well common and being done and have been done for years.
Right.
And that's the argument I have. This is nothing new. Why is he special?
Right. Well, Mr. Early Release has just cemented the snitch allegations to the highest level. He'll never come away from this now, especially being implicated to the degree that he is. So he's got his name cemented forever in infamy with this shit. That's for sure.
Ray said, put him on the trans man side. They might take his ass out too. What's up, Toxic Foe? It's been a long time. I'm looking at your dog on your profile pic. That looks like my dog. Hope all is well with you. Wow, where have you been? You still do content? I haven't seen your channel. He said I heard the P. Diddy trial has been crazy. Haven't been keeping up with the case much. Well, you need to come over here and let us tell you all about it. I'm pretty much I'm done with this thing. Any last thoughts on this and the whole Larry McGee and all these crazy allegations?
Well, Larry McGee will be content for whatever's left of the region to talk and discuss about the snitch that they already know. So he'll be out trying to defend himself, and everybody will be talking about it and reading his paperwork. So that's going to go on for the next couple of weeks. And it is what it is. It's not surprising to any of us that have been with it with the last 5 years. We've known about this. We're not surprised. It is what it is. As far as getting out, I don't foresee them letting him out of prison for this. I do see them doing a transfer. Like, I don't understand why that hasn't taken place. That's weird to me. If they've had this threat, you know.
Well, they just filed this, so I'm thinking there's going to be a response, or I guess we'll have to see what they say in response. I mean, they're also saying they're still investigating. So all the facts aren't in.
Yeah. Interesting.
All right. Well, I want to move over to the Diddy action. I don't know. I might need you to come out and come back in because that echo is
okay. I'll come out.
Okay, come right back though. Okay. All right, y'all. So moving on. Let me get off of this. Let me go over to TikTok because I'm going to show y'all a couple things. So I am very curious to know what's going to happen next week at Diddy's trial. There have been it's just so much. And let me refresh this page real quick. And just to recap real quick, I'm just going to look at my notes for the week. If you're not following me on TikTok, please do. Okay, let me see. Sunday, Monday. Okay. It's my TikTok is the ad is Goddess Dawn, the number 2 and the letter U, all one word.
Hey, Charlucci.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. How long have you known Diddy for?
Almost 40 years.
Oh my, that's wild.
That's a long time.
Yeah,
right?
that is a really long time. So you were my source here today.
Yes.
About Kanye West, yes. Right? Now, he was not on the list. Is that essentially what happened?
Yes, sort of, kind of, but he was on the list, but he chose not to go in there, and so he went to the overflow room because he didn't want to disrupt anything by just walking in there.
Wait, he went to overflow?
Yes, he wanted. Yes.
Oh.
Ain't that cool?
Wait, I did not. Okay,
yeah.
So I heard that he did not even go to overflow. Okay.
No, he did.
Wow.
And he did it on his own remission. He wasn't on a list and all that kind. It's something that he wanted to do. He didn't want to disrupt anything. The proceedings that was happening at that time, he didn't want to disrupt anything. So he said, you know what? I just wanted, because he literally came here just to check on stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Right? He didn't come here to get any looks. He didn't come here to get Kanye showed up. He didn't do that. It's like somebody buy you a gift anonymously, right? Mm-hmm. They just want to make sure you got the gift.
Yeah.
Well, Puff got the gift. The gift was his presence and his love and his respect that he got for Diddy. And that's all that was, you know. And,
okay.
And the family appreciate him for that. That was really, really dope for him.
Wow. I can't believe he went to overflow. I cannot believe that. Yeah.
He did not want, he didn't want all the cameras and the glitz and the glamour. He didn't want to do none of that. He just wanted to come in to show his support and let Puff know he was here. And that was it. He stayed about maybe 20 minutes, half an hour.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He chilled out, you know.
He didn't. It wasn't a big old entourage. It was just, I'm popping in, checking on my guy, and I'm out.
Okay.
And he did that. And yeah, we love you for that, man. That was really, really honorable, and we respect you.
Wow. Okay. I'm glad I cleared that up because I definitely reported some wrong information about him not going into the overflow room at all. So, yeah, this is helpful. So thank.
Well, the truth of the matter is he went into his own overflow room. He went into his own personal overflow room. He wasn't in the public overflow room. And we're talking about Yeezy, Kanye West, who showed up at the courthouse yesterday. And it was already being anticipated because I guess people knew and the chatter already was happening. But this was Friday, so I'll just work my way backwards with regard to the trial. So Friday, when Ye came and he was causing all this hubbub at the courthouse, he only came and went. He really just came for attention, in my opinion, and to also cause a disruption. I feel like the testimony that came out from Jane about the Las Vegas freak off or hotel night or whatever she calls it, that she was in attendance of, because it was a rapper and his wife or girlfriend's, it was her birthday in January in Vegas, and she attended, and also she referred one of the entertainers to them, Anton, who was there performing his show with some woman. Now, she didn't say if it was the wife or the girlfriend or a random woman, but she watched. She even showed her breasts because I guess she got turned on. I don't know what that's all about. There were other celebrities there as well, supposedly watching on. So I feel like has been alluded that it was Kanye and his wife, and that find it interesting that Kanye decides to show up like the day after this is happening. Now, during that testimony, I guess I'll go back to Monday actually, because I think that's when get off the stand. Let's see, she was on. Man, she was on for all week. Was she on till Thursday? Yeah, Thursday was her last day. Okay, so
right. Yeah.
So she testified about this freak off that when she and Sean had their break and she went to this other freak off, but when Sean found out, he was pissed. And she said, I didn't even post any pictures. There was not even any moments for that. But Anton was there, and she was like, what are you doing here? Even though I think she said him, so I didn't know, or maybe I don't know. But nevertheless, the defense was fighting to name the rapper. The government fought to keep them anonymous. The judge agreed with the prosecution and they didn't name him. But it was interesting that the defense, meaning Diddy, because he's running his defense team, just like R. Kelly did, he wanted them to name Kanye. And I'm thinking Kanye knew about this and probably anticipated that he was going to get named, but it didn't happen. So what do you think? What is the strategy behind that? I just don't understand that.
I agree. I think it was an intimidation factor. Like, motherfucker, you better not say my name. But that's probably why he got so pissed and only stayed 10 minutes when he found out he couldn't go into the actual courtroom. But absolutely, there was the underlying current that he was the unnamed rapper. The so-called Bianca's wife was the one that, did whatever with the Anton and the whole little thing. But absolutely, it wasn't just about to support him. I think it definitely was, to present himself in front of Diddy. I do. I agree.
Yeah. It could have been an intimidation factor for Jane if I think she was still on the stand. No, because when he showed up, Jonathan Perez was on the stand, the assistant. She was already gone by then. But
okay,
the fact that they wanted to name him and Diddy's trying to name him, and I think what they're trying to sell is that this whole behavior, all this stuff we're talking about during this trial, is all it is. It's a celebrity lifestyle that we little peasants don't understand.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is just something they do. This is
they're
what
all
we do.
swingers. They all, yep.
Not just me. We all use the same entertainers. It's a whole thing. But what that is, because they're paying these people, they're flying them across state lines out of the, to do this stuff. It's illegal. It's trafficking, and it's also called a sex ring. So I think that is
That's
pretty
right.
damn. It's actually more damning than you realize. Um, so I'll just let me start with Monday because I have my notes. So this past Monday, that's when they had a motion for a mistrial. They were trying to use Brianna Bana Bongalin as the reason for the mistrial because of the balcony dangling situation that she claims happened. The picture she took, I think, of her injuries were time stamped for a different day than she claims it actually happened. And he also was supposedly at a hotel in New York and checked out the day that he was still there, they say, when she's supposedly saying this happened. And come on, that's not, to me, that means nothing. Anybody can check out of a hotel without really, you don't have to be there to check out the hotel, especially not Diddy. He has people doing all that for him. They do all of that for him. He doesn't have to be there. He might not
He
even
get on
have
his
been there.
little jet.
Yeah, he has a private jet. He can just fly here and there and throw into at his will as much as he wants and as long as he wants to stay. He could go beat up Cassie and dangle her friend and jump right back on the plane and get. It doesn't make sense for them to try to do a mistrial over something like that. And even on Friday, Brian Steele, he argued to the judge that, well, no, he didn't argue to the judge. He was cross-examining Jonathan Perez, the assistant, the ex-assistant. And he basically questioned him about the names that they used, because I think Jonathan's name was used to check in. And he talked about that. Well, you check in under different names and aliases because otherwise cameras would be outside, right? He's like, yes. So that's why he doesn't check in under his own name, which means it doesn't mean he's actually there. He doesn't even need to be there. And plus, he said he doesn't even, who pays for the hotel? He's like, I don't know. It was a company card. So it could have been from his personal. It could have, I don't know. I don't handle that. So that says they're using the business to orchestrate these freak-offs, which involve the traffic, which is illegal. So time
which is the Rico.
Which is the Rico. Time the business.
Rico.
Exactly. So people like, let me just come to this, show you this real quick. This bothers me. Okay, so if you see on the screen, I'm not gonna click it because he's live right now with 11,000 people watching. Armand. So his title, he has Secret Service Sam there. It looks like he has the people who are on the ground there. But his title, will Diddy walk a free man, with 2 question marks? Did Jane have a freak off with Kanye? Now, the first part of it is what bothers me. Will Diddy walk a free man? Why would he? Why would he? He only needs 2 of the elements, 2 of the charges from the RICO, and I think 2 from the sex trafficking or the Mann Act or whatever, however it works. He doesn't need the full charge of it, the full elements. He just needs 2. They've already been proven, in my opinion.
Yes, they have. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah, when Jane's mother took the stand, she talked about the extortion. She proved it. She had receipts. The hotel security man, he talked about the bribery for the hotel video, which was proven, in my opinion. So that's bribery and extortion. Those 2 things. Violence is also a part of the RICO. That was proven with the tape of him beating Cassie and dragging her, kidnapping. Okay, that's proven with that, in my opinion.
Cross state lines, paying money, the payments of money and moving across state lines, the drugs. Come on.
Yep. We had Mia. She testified to KK, his former right-hand person, showing her how to transport the drugs in her luggage, which is trafficking. Okay. And I anticipate Christina testifying. I hope this lady, I hope this lady ends up testifying because
Me
she's really
too.
she's been brought up the whole time throughout the whole trial. And she's like that whole thread that ties everybody together.
Yep.
Everybody experienced with her and brought her up. She's the one who told the ex assistant Jonathan Perez, next time you see that type of video, which was an explicit video he found of Jane and the worker having sex with Diddy in the background, looking on like a peeping Tom, like the cuck
Yeah.
he is. That is, he didn't know what to do. He told Diddy, and Diddy seemed shocked, which I'm sure I think he got a kick out of it. And she said, next time, just bring it to me. I'll handle it.
Right.
She unfazed everything because she knows about everything and is involved in everything. So, and
Yep.
actually, government earlier on did name her as a co-conspirator in a conversation with the court. So if she's not charged, she's a witness for the government. I mean, has to be.
Yep.
Um,
Absolutely.
so yeah, so that mistrial, of course, was denied. But when Brian Steele said that, that was yesterday. That was Friday. That was the mistrial was already. So he already opened the door for the government to be able to use what he said and prove through his testimony with Jonathan that Diddy wasn't necessarily at that hotel room. We don't know if he was there or not. So
That's
you can't
correct.
definitively say he wasn't there and that he wasn't able to do that to Bonna and so that's bullshit. And
And
then
the
on
fact
Tuesday,
that it was only a window of 2 to 3 days. We're not talking 2 or 3 months, 2 or 3 weeks. We're talking 2 to 3 days. So within that window, that was just BS from the get go. That was a weak argument.
exactly. And on top of that, she already testified she was on so many drugs. I mean, listening to her cocktails of drugs, I don't even know how she's still functioning and alive, to be honest.
Okay.
So then on Tuesday, they were continuing to cross Jane. Oh, actually Tuesday the mistrial was denied. They filed it on Monday and then it was denied on Tuesday. And then the talk of juror 6 being dismissed started on Tuesday as well. So then on Wednesday, they talked about that trifecta. Diddy was Jordan and Jane was Kobe and Shaq was one of the entertainers. They call themselves the trifecta.
Yeah.
But
Lord have mercy.
right, and that just goes to the mindset like we the best. We the best.
Yep.
Uh, oh, and that's when I'll tell people give the energy. I have a note here. Give the energy into the world that you want back. And I will reiterate that and say that every day, all day. Please just give the energy to the world that you want back. Um,
Absolutely.
what is this? Just kick to the curb. Jury kicked to the curb. What? Jury kicked to the curb. Oh, the black man. Okay. I said a juror was kicked to the curb. He wasn't quite kicked at that point. Thursday, let's see, it says judge allows evidence admitted after defense motion to strike evidence. Oh, because so the prosecution had a device that the filter team, when they did that raid on his unit, so any communications that could possibly be between attorney and the client attorney privileged information, the filter team had to take it before the prosecution could look at it. So the filter team had this device apparently and had to clear it that it wasn't confidential to the attorneys, and the government apparently didn't have it. Either they didn't have it or they didn't have the information that was on it until recently, and they found something on there they wanted to use. The government tried to strike it, but the judges allowed it, and the judge said that it was not unfairly prejudicial, and then the government wants it because it was stuff on there from Jane. It had like correspondence and I think audio maybe too. I'm not positive, but So then that was her last day of testimony too, James. Everybody was relieved too. Oh, thank God she's gone. I'm tired of hearing about it. I mean, it was heavy. It was a lot. It was just a lot. And
Yeah.
apparently she damn cried throughout the whole thing. Now, with regard to Jane, there's a lot of mixed feelings about Jane. I heard some real reasonable people on TikTok. There's some real interesting TikTok lives that go on late at night and really all times of day, but a couple of them do the trial. Some of them have the full transcript, so that's why sometimes I will listen while I'm doing other things. But they were talking about how there were some real reasonable people, because it's hard to find them online, really breaking down how the government is putting this together. Because on that particular live, there's people that still say, I don't see a RICO. I don't see nothing but sex, but somebody having some untraditional sex.
Right.
That's all and when I hear that, I just get confused. Like, how do you not see? We just broke down all the things just now, right?
Exactly.
The trafficking, the drugs, the violence, the kidnapping, the extortion, the bribery. Like, these are crimes. Like, I think
right.
part of it might be the celebrity aspect. Maybe they look at Diddy as somebody who's not really, who's beyond reproach, or who, he should be allowed that because of his privilege. I'm thinking,
Right.
or like, I just don't. And I find that a lot of times it's men, Black men especially, who say, it's just sex. I don't see nothing. I don't see, because they can't get their mind off of the sex part. I think they can't.
Right, because it's so descriptive, it's so detailed that it's consuming, that they're not understanding how it all connects. But that's why it's going to be really important when they bring in that other witness, the government, that's going to kind of administratively show how all this ties together under the RICO. That's a very important witness they'll have next week. But
Right.
yeah, it's so tawdry. It's so like, I mean, it's a lot. So if you get so wrapped up in those details, then you're starting to think, oh, they're just invading this man's bedroom. No, no, no. This man is committing crimes. Okay. He wouldn't be in a federal trial if the crimes were not there. Unfortunately, all of this tawdry sex acts are just a part of it. And the abuse and the drugs and the, all of the different partners is just a lot. So I think they get kind of bogged down by that.
Ray says some people are just simple. It's
That's
funny
right,
because
right.
you use the word simple, because I heard somebody refer to Jane as simple, because people were questioning, why would she hug the prosecutor and hug the defense? Why would she hug either of them, and especially the defense? And somebody just said, well, I think she's just simple. Or was it strategic? I don't think so, but I just
she worried about getting them damn bills still paid.
Or was it strategic? I don't think so, but I just feel like
there's the echo again. But yeah, she I think she did want to show.
But yeah, I think she did want to show. I don't have no ill will.
I don't know what's up with the echo. Why did it come back?
I don't know what's up with the echo. Why did it come back?
Yeah, I heard it earlier too.
Okay.
I'm not on YouTube at all. I'm only on StreamYard. I don't know what it is.
Okay. I don't know.
Okay.
I'll mute myself.
Okay.
So Friday, so Thursday was Jane's last day, and then Friday they had a Homeland Security investigator from the LA raid. They basically testified to some of the evidence found in the raid, the GUNs and the ammunition that could pierce an armored vest, as well as automatic guns, one with the serial number not scratched off, but professionally removed, however that's done. And what else did he testify to? I think just whatever the raid was about. They cross-examined him, just basically reiterating that he has security team. He has a security team who handles that stuff. And have you ever seen him with one of those guns? And he said, no, just the security. But you know, he wouldn't see him with one of the, why would he see him with the gun? What else happened? They also had, like I said, Jonathan Perez, the ex-assistant, who basically let them know, I do stuff for him personally and for business, but the personal stuff is a part of my job. It was a part of my job. So that's another way of them the business stuff to the personal stuff doing that was illegal. So yet another witness who corroborated the illegal activity being connected to the business. You know, I also talked about a civil suit on Friday that was filed just like within the week. And this person's name is Chileee Lovelace. And I think she was an anonymous victim initially, but the judge made her reveal herself. And she said, I'm still going to do it. And here's my name, Chileee Lovelace. And her allegations were very similar to the things we're hearing about Jane and the things that Cassie told us as well. So I'm just curious as to why she wasn't involved with the government's case. And maybe because it was filed during, well, maybe refiled, or she opened her name up during the trial. The victims, maybe she was one of the witnesses who was cut, because they cut people. They said they were cutting people. You want to say something?
I was just saying, I think you're right. Johnny come lately with her case. So it was just too much to go in and grab her at that point. I think you might be right.
What's going on, Charlene? She said, hi, warriors. Much love and protection to all. I love that. Much love and protection. We definitely need that. Good to see you. Usually in the replay. Okay. So a couple of things that were interesting that I found out after I went live on Friday. I was listening to, I have to give people their credit. So I was listening to Tisa Tales. She said she stayed in the courtroom after court was adjourned, after the jurors were dismissed, and after most people left. And she was eavesdropping and being nosy. And she said that she heard the government tell the court that that Brendan Paul would be testifying for the government. Now, if in case you don't remember, Brendan Paul was apprehended during the raids at the Miami airport. I think they found drugs with him. He was about to take off out the country. And they later said that he had his charges dropped and he had gone through some type of first time diversion program where he had to go to a rehab and all of that. But that never fooled me, because the government is never going to just let somebody off the hook like that, even if he's a white boy. I mean, come on. So now we're finding out he's definitely one of the two people they named, because they said there's going to be two people testifying of how the term flowers was used to describe marijuana when they were communicating. They said we have two people who are going to testify to this. And I think he's one. And I think one of the other guys could be one. It could be, this is Fahim or Fa. They named him a couple times. Now, Fa is on LinkedIn as Director of Security at Combs Enterprises. And he's been mentioned quite a bit as well on during the trial. And he's a good looking guy. I mean, it's just really sad. People will do the things they do because somebody has fame and money, knowing is wrong, knowing you could get in trouble. You know, I don't get it. But nevertheless, it could be him. It could be D-Rock, because D-Rock has also been named throughout this trial as Diddy's number one henchman, somebody who I guess the victims called him family, or they felt like they were close and like a brother, because that's how he positioned himself with these people. But he was really just a snitch. He was just really giving intel to Diddy. He was really close to them, so he could give Diddy the information that he wanted when he wanted it. And that's pretty much it. But he's been named so much, I really think he's going to testify too. I hope he does, for the government, that is.
Me too. And that Brandon dude, when he got caught, That was when Diddy, you're right, when he was trying to leave the country and he actually had the pouch of drugs on him, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Look at him before Diddy and after Diddy, child. This guy was like
This
a
guy was
basketball
like a
player
basketball player
in college.
in college.
Just corrupted. Damn.
Imagine being his parents. I would be so pissed. Another thing I wanted to bring up, back to the juror number 6. Now the judge claimed that, he basically said we gonna get rid of him after they went back and forth about this juror number 6. But for whatever reason, the defense of fighting and they said, well, we could at least talk to him. Can't we at least talk to him? And the judge said, well, I'll think about it over the weekend. But I really hope he comes back and just says, we'll get rid of this guy, just because it's too much controversy about him. And when there's any kind of issue with a juror, just get rid of him. I don't think either side should fight it. I mean, because they have alternates. What is the difference? The alternates are there throughout the trial.
I think you're correct. It was actually really alarming that 3 of the different attorneys kept coming up trying to fight to keep this juror. I remember me and you were talking a little bit, and what was the one name? The one attorney that was saying, well, he's been here every day and on time. And you were like, well, aren't all the alternates there every day on time too? It was something.
Donaldson.
Right.
It
almost makes you feel like they got to this guy,
Yeah, it actually does. I was trying to find the TikTok that somebody, I'm trying to think, where did I see that lady? There's a lady who is covering the trial. She is a news reporter, and in discussing juror number 6, she said she had gone to the trial for 2 days and she took very, very detailed notes, and that during in her notes, juror number 6, she showed on the camera a chart that she made of the jurors, and I guess she for herself described them, and she also made notes during those 2 days of different little things about the jurors, different like expressions and different things she noticed. She said there's 3 jurors in particular who she had a lot of notes on, who she felt might be problematic because they seemed to be favoring Diddy, when you could just tell by their expressions. She said juror number 6 was definitely one of them. So and this guy, I believe he said he worked for a correctional, he was a correctional officer as well. So he wouldn't be somebody hard to contact outside of the trial and compromise, because the whole thing about him is the government said when he did during the voir dire, the jury selection process, this guy said he lived in Brooklyn during the week, where he got his mail in the Bronx, and that on the weekends, or maybe he said, his daughter or somebody lived in Jersey. So sometimes she was with her, maybe on the weekends. And then he had there was another location where supposedly he stayed too. So anyway, apparently somebody overheard him talking, somebody who overlooks the jury, they overheard him saying, well, I'm in Jersey. I have to go all the way to Jersey. They were like, what? So they told the prosecution, and they looked into his questionnaire, and they found that he wasn't being forthcoming, that there's something up. So the judge agreed. He's like, well, why did he change his story so many times about his residence? And something's up with that. And it seems that he really just wanted to be on the jury. And when you have somebody who really wants to be on the jury, that means they have an agenda and probably a bias.
I agree, Goddess. Absolutely. Like, he's been compromised because, I remember when you were talking about it, we were saying how the judge was like, felt like he had been like, if you're lying like that, then you're already compromised. Because, when the jury gets these instructions, you got to follow it to the letter of the law. The defense only needs one person to turn, right? But when the jury gets in there together, and if there is somebody that's standing out, they can go back and say to the evidence, they can go back to the instructions, and hopefully they can all get to that one decision. But if you only need one person to hold out regardless, and if that person's been compromised some kind of way, then it's not going to work. So the fact that the judge recognized that this guy was already seemed dishonest, and although he said he would, get back to it on if he changed his mind, he would say something Monday. This guy's gone. This guy is off the jury for sure.
Mm-hmm. As he should
As
be.
he should be.
So Ray is asking, didn't the government rest on Friday? No, actually next Friday. I mean, we're looking at next week, either Wednesday to Friday. I'm thinking Friday. I think Love Warrior had mentioned that to me before. We're going to give them just the whole week, but they still have more witnesses to come. So, and more information. They have a summary chart, the one they're going to present to the jury, the one that's going to tie everything together. They're putting that together over the weekend. And there's a lady going to testify who's going to summarize all of the stuff too. Sankor, I think they said her name was. And I'm trying to think who else. I don't know. I know Brendan Paul is supposed to, like I said, the drug mule. He's supposed to testify. And I believe KK. I'm looking for KK. I'm looking for D-Rock. I'm looking for Fahim or Fa. And I would have hoped that Gina would have popped up, but I don't think so, because I think they already said Gina is not testifying. But because the government is trying to, I think that device that they found, or that was cleared from the filter team, I think that's part of the evidence they wanted to present has to do with Gina. Now that I think about it, I think Gina has something to do with that. And they were saying she's not even part of the trial.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting. So you have any other things for, oh, wait, one more thing real quick. So with regard to that juror number 6, when they were fighting back and forth about the juror, and the judge finally said, no, I'm just we'll release him. Like we will not have him return, right? So this was going on during court. Tisa Tells said she was observing the courtroom as she does. And as this conversation was going on back and forth between the judge, the defense, the prosecution about juror number 6, she said that Justin Combs had outstretched his arms. You know how like you're going to stretch? So you stretch your arms out. She said his fists were balled up so tight. She could see the tension in his fists. Like you could see the knuckles being strained. And what I was taking from that is that he was pissed. You know how you're so angry, but you can't say anything, or you can't make a move, but you're like,
yep.
So that tells me he knew about this juror possibly helping his dad get out of this mess.
Yep, I agree.
So
I would not be surprised in the least. Yep.
That was interesting to me.
Diddy has technicals that stretch however long. He's got a lot of connections in the underworld. He's been around for a long time. You just got to know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody.
That's true. And when you have the money to float around, you're going to get them connected. He also has connections with law enforcement.
Yep.
And probably now, as long as he's been there.
Absolutely.
All right. Well.
Only thing I want to say to comment is I really like the judge. The judge seems no nonsense. He's moving things along. I like that about the judge, that he's keeping things moving. He makes decisions quickly on the spot. He's trying to keep the record as clean as he can. And, I know that the defense is trying to get things into the record for appeal purposes, but for the most part, he's really moving. He's cutting out a lot of the extras that he can. Gina stayed on that a lot longer than I guess they really had hoped for. But he's like wrapping things up and moving this trial along, and I like that.
I agree. He was adamant about this trial not going past July 4th. And I hope that's the case, because we don't know how many witnesses the defense is going to bring. We don't know how long these cross examinations are going to take once they do bring their witnesses. We don't know anything beyond what's happening pretty much today. Monday, Friday.
And we only can speculate if the narcissist in Diddy will have him testify or not. That's going to be interesting.
Oh, yeah. I really hope he does testify. I hope Diddy gets his ass on the stand.
He'll eat his ass up.
I can't wait for that. I hope Diddy does get on the stand. And, I hope he opens the door to Kim Porter, to everybody, everything he's not charged with. I hope they get his ass.
Me too. Me too, sis. For real.
Okay, well, that's all I got, Lord. So I want to thank everybody for being here, especially Love Warrior.
I love you, sis. I love y'all, chat. You guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I'm here on the East Coast, so it's only, it's like 12:30, but I'm so happy that I got to come live with you, sis.
Me too. You gotta do this more often.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Till Monday.
Put my son on there, PJ, as we go out, please. I want to hear his music as well.
Okay, we can do that.
Okay.
We want to do the same song, or I Need Everything. Or we gotta
whatever you want to do, whatever you want to roll with, it's all good. It don't matter.
I'm gonna do a video. That awesome! Yeah.
Okay.
This is an older song, but I shot and edited this video. He was actually getting. I think he was on either. I think he had got off work. He used to work overnight or late nights. He would get off at like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. We shot this video near his. He used to work at the Staples Center. Okay, so it's called. Let me switch the tab over. It's called Don Corleone, child. And
yes.
Let's get it. That's mute. Okay.
I don't know about you, no name, cocaine, sport motherfuckers, whole squad looking like dope fiends. Dope gang, show face at your whole place. Stay up in your lane, motherfucker, play a role place. You know we so good at making nosebleed. All the homies roll woods when they smoke tree. All the homies from the hood, yeah, they know me. If you roll through the hood, nigga better roll deep. And you better have shot too. Mac blow a hole through your tattoo. You don't wanna smoke, you're a rap dude. Outfit red, but the hundreds that I stack blue. Trapping out the backpack in the classroom. Act the ass off a hack in the gas room. Roll it up, pass it back, that's the grass rules. Hit it from the back, pull a hair, hope a track's new. Yeah, Corleone the dime. Me and broke hoes don't get along. Tell them broke hoes go get a job. Cause dog, I've been rapping, trapping, blasting, acting, actors, fashion, crashing, smashing in the whip. Yeah, bitch, I have to have it. It's my passion. Actually, I'm an addict, I can't quit. Me and Sevs up in a Benz. Switch to get a better bitch. Uber, pick her up a lift. Flex to get a better grip. My dick been resting on her lips. Pistol resting on my hip for the demons that I wrestle with. My team's the best I ever lived. How much better can I get? I can't let up ever give. You don't wanna go there, you don't wanna go. You don't wanna go there, you don't wanna go. You don't wanna go there, you don't wanna go. You don't wanna go there, you don't wanna go. You don't wanna go there, you don't wanna go. You don't wanna go there, you don't wanna go. You don't wanna go there, you don't wanna. You don't want to go there, you don't want to go?
Yeah, baby.
Let's go, PJ! Love it.
Our Father Jesus. I appreciate y'all.
Post that in the link, baby, so we can download it.
Oh, you know what? I sure will. Thank you for that.
Yes.
Bye. Monday. Bye.
Bye.